Will there be a cash shop and ways to buy in-game money with real money? Fuck no. Is it going to be an arcade shooter like Battlefield and Call of Duty, or is it going to be more like a realistic shooter like Tarkov, Squad, and Arma Reforger? It's somewhere in the middle. Everyone's trying to label it as it's this plus this, or it's that meets that. It's kind of its own thing.
There is certainly an element of arcade, how the game feels, how it's responsive, how it's fluid, how it's reactive, and potentially something like the UI, how it kind of shows as the kill has happened. We don't want you to be fighting the game when you're playing, but for the general gameplay, realism is the way that we lean.
Progression system. Will we be able to unlock things playing the game outside of just buying gun accessories and other things in the match? Yeah, pretty much everything in the game is behind a progression system. Depending on the style of play that you like or the way that you like playing, you'll be able to unlock content that will be somewhat related to that style of play.
So the more you play, the more you can unlock, and the way you play determines what you unlock. So if you like playing a certain way, you'll be rewarded for playing that way consistently.
100 players over 3 teams. The math ain't mathin'. This is probably the question that we knew we would get asked the most when designing this game for 4 years.
Really, it's up to 100 players is actually what we say. Server admins could set the server cap to 80 anyway, or 81, or whatever you wanted, right?
Because of the length of the game, players will drop in and drop out of the session and won't be there for the entire match. The likely chance is for the majority of the game, the team numbers will be swapping between around 27 to 33 people per team. But you are right, if it does have 100 players, one team will have an extra player.
Will there be a cash shop and ways to buy in-game money with real money? Fuck no.
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 The answer is no.
We're not like a big AAA studio where we need like millions and millions of dollars to keep the lights on, but we can't pretend that we don't need money to keep going. We're not trying to be this hugely massive player-based game. We're not trying to beat Battlefield or take on Call of Duty. We're not trying to do anything like that. We're making a game that we want to make because we want to play it. In terms of monetizing it, like, I'm staunchly against us having paid skins in the game. When you see a player with skins, you should know that that player has earned that through their actions in the game, not they have more money. I think just keep delivering good content for players and keep being transparent, and you guys keep coming back. That's the plan.
What kind of stuff will be looted? Ammunition, meds, literally anything, all items.
But no loot like in the sense of like an extraction shooter.
Anything that you can buy, anything that anyone can buy, you can loot. 100-player multiplayer games on a gigantic map in UE5. Got to have a 5090 with 3 times frame gen minimum to run this at 60 FPS probably. Ultimately, as this guy says, it's a 100-player game and there is a lot going on in a very localized zone. But we are doing our best efforts.
We've been thinking about performance from day one. We actually went to a local PC shop and said, like, what's your standard gaming PC that like somebody's mum would buy their kid, and we shoved it under a desk over there. That's our like base spec.
Because we come from a time releasing games, competitive games, where frames that are high, input latency being low, these are kind of some of the most important things for us.
There's a lot more games that come out that are UE, right? Ease of access to Unreal Engine as a platform, it's opened it up for people to be able to make games, but that doesn't mean that they're all going to be highly optimized games. Let's imagine that you can't draw, right? And then Will can draw. And I give Will a pen, and he draws this amazing picture. Then I give you a pen, and you draw a shit picture. Is that the pen's fault? Moving on.
Will WARDOGS be a Battlefield killer? No.
It will not be a Battlefield killer.
I don't think Battlefield's really going anywhere.
No. It's going to stand on its own 2 feet.
We can coexist with them.
But would we like to provide a different experience in a similar vein? Absolutely. Our goal is to have a consistent, dedicated player base of 3,000 to 10,000 players coming and playing the game every night.
It will not be a Battlefield killer, but we wouldn't mind having a little dig at it.
How will matchmaking and team balance work? I'm worried that people might quit lobbies where they're getting steamrolled. I mean, matchmaking, we only use server browser.
There's no skill-based matchmaking or aggression-based matchmaking or anything else. There's always a bigger fish and there's always a littler fish. And without skill-based matchmaking, sometimes you get to be the big fish.
What I would say is winning in WARDOGS is not the most important thing. It is obviously great, but it's really about your cash and how much you've done in the game and how you're helping the team. So even if you are on the losing team, you can still have really good runs where you're making a lot of money, potentially more money than the people that are on the winning team.
Will it be PC only, or will it come to PS5 and Xbox? We absolutely want to come to Xbox and PlayStation. Don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you guys. We're coming to console. That's our plan, we just don't know when. So yeah.
How broad is persistence? Full cash plus inventory match to match, or is it session based? How do you lose your stuff? Losing a life, a match? I would say that the persistence that we have is probably the first level that we intended to release with throughout our designs.
Early access launch, it's keeping your cash. That's the persistence, it's just your cash. But the plan for full release is the metagame. You're able to engage with minigames outside of the session itself and make sure that you're collecting equipment, items, and tools you need, like overnight where you sleep, while you're at work. And we've got some other really cool things around player skills, being able to be better at the things you want to do and push your character to feel really like your character. But right now, early access is cash. That's the persistence. Early access release time frame. When?
When is the playtest? And then this guy says when in massive caps. I'm not sure I'm supposed to be saying that on camera because we haven't publicly said it. But it is this year, but it is later this year. Playtests will start before that, of course.
And in terms of early access, how long we're staying in there, we're going to stay in there between 12 months and 24 months, right? It really depends on how you guys feel about the game. We don't want to rush something out that isn't ready, but we do want to get it in your hands at this point. This is the time where we work together with players and kind of morph into what it should be, what it could be, and ultimately what it will end up as.
Thank you for your questions. Obviously, if you have more questions, drop them on this video, drop them in the Discord.
Let us know you want to play, hit wishlist on Steam. It does make a difference to us when you wishlist and bumps up those Steam charts.
And see you in the playtest.